you'll get a best ever service. Yeah. I know. Oh, Barbara is usually here. She's not here today.
Is Eddie downstairs?
Not yet.
I know Linnell and Sam were going out to Heather's.
Yeah, right.
We need Aaron.
He's downstairs sitting next to me.
Not a lot of people to set up for.
Yeah. Can I move? Oh, good. Well, give me the high sign when you want to start. All right, good morning. Good morning and welcome to Unity of Kent. This is our Sunday service for October 23rd, just 1 week before Halloween. This morning we are very, very happy in Sanctuary to welcome Aaron English as our musician. And so Aaron, you are on. Would you please open our service right now?
Deal. We may not be in the same boat, but we're in the same storm. Tossed on troubled water, trying to get across it and make it to the morning. I see the sun rising up above the dark horizon. When we put our hearts together, there's no storm that we can't weather. There was nothing we can't do. Get together. Get together, we can make it better if we get together. Sisters, brothers, love each other. We can make heaven wherever we are. 'Cause everything's better when we get together. Everything's better when we get together. The future is ours, it's brighter than ever. Oh, oh, oh. Every day we're writing the future, so close you can feel it. Our hopes and our dreams, yeah, they are coming into view. We all belong, the weak and the strong, the young and the old, the quiet and the bold, forgivers and forgiven, joining all together, we can weather any storm. Get together, get together. We can make it better if we get together. Sisters, brothers, love each other. We can make heaven wherever we are. 'Cause everything's better when we get together. Everything's better when we get together. The future is ours, it's brighter than ever. Oh, oh, oh. We can make it better. We can make it better. We can make it better if we get together. We can make it better. We can make it better. Oh, oh, oh. Every day we're writing the future, so close you can feel it. Our hopes and our dreams, yeah, they are coming into view.
Thank you, Aaron. Well, as Aaron sang, we can make heaven wherever we are. And this morning we are going to be making heaven right here where we are, being together on this Sunday morning for service. Welcome to all of you on Zoom and to those in the sanctuary. My name is Reverend Patty Becker, and it is my joy to be the spiritual leader for Unity of Kent. And I would just, I love saying this every Sunday because I truly believe it's true, and I just affirm it, that Unity of Kent is a welcoming congregation, that we are based in as a focus on spiritual transformation, and we invite people of all races, creeds, colors, lifestyles, and to be with us every Sunday. We invite you into our community for the purpose of spiritual growth and to experience for yourselves the transformation that can happen in your life through the practice of our principles, through prayer and meditation, by opening our hearts, and by the right use of mind and word. As Aaron opened our service with song so beautifully, again, thank you, Aaron, I would like to open our time together right now with prayer. So if it's comfortable for you to close your eyes, I invite you to relax into this moment, that you are in your perfect place right here, right now, that each one of us this morning have come together, and we are keeping a divine appointment, that we have been called to this moment. We have been called to this activity for the greater good of our souls. There is one presence and one power active in the universe. That presence and power is called by many names, and we call that presence and power God. That presence and power is the animator of our lives, that we as universal divinity have a spark of that divinity as our own life experience. And it is for us to discover and to grow that divine spark, to lean into it, to expand our consciousness. And by doing so, we expand the fulfillment of our lives. And so this morning, that is our purpose, to understand more fully who and what we are, and to put into action the gifts that we inherently have for the betterment of our own experiences, for our lives, in all of its aspects. And so we gratefully, eagerly present ourselves to this opportunity in the fullness of heart and presence. And so it is. Amen.
I'll sing a song in Arabic and Hebrew and Aramaic. The phrase is, "Peace be upon you." It's a phrase that's spoken millions of times every day in what is we call the Holy Land, and it's also spoken hundreds of times in the Hebrew Bible, the Christian Bible, the Quran. In Arabic, it's Salam Alaikum. In Hebrew, Shalom Aleichem. In Aramaic, it's Shalom Alechu. In English, we'd say peace be with you, or peace be upon you. Oh, the sun is hiding over the dark horizon. No matter how long the night, the day is sure to come. Oh, the sun is hiding over the dark horizon. No matter how long the night, the day is sure to come. Arabic. Salam, salam alaikum. 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 Hoping for a storm to come. waiting on the river to rise, looking for a ladder to climb, waiting on the change of tides, hoping with a heart that's broken, looking for a door to open, listening for a song to sing, knowing that the heart is wise. Hebrew. Shalom, shalom aleichem. 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 Hope is a fragile thing. It flies on broken wings. There's no dream so lost it can't be found again. Oh, don't hold your silence. Shout it louder than sirens. Shout it louder than violence. Rise on broken wings. Aramaic. Shlomo, shlomo aleichem. 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 Oh, the sun is hiding over the dark horizon. No matter how long the night, the day is sure to come. Peace be with you. Peace be upon you. Peace within you. And between us be peace.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. We are so blessed to have you here today. So good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to Unity of Church service today. Wherever you are, we're glad to have you here. Let's start. My name is Lee O'Neill. I'm the worship assistant today. And let's start with our statement of faith. There is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotence. I trust and align with that power of goodness now. So this Tuesday, the Quest class will continue on Zoom at 6:30 with Reverend Patty Becker. And there will not be a Spirit Talk this Wednesday. It will resume next week. Once again, I'm reminding you that next Monday our taxes are due, so any extra that you can add to your tithe today would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. So the virtue today is self-discipline. Being self-disciplined means self-control. It is doing what you really want to do rather than being tossed around by your feelings like a leaf in the wind. You act instead of reacting. You get things done in an orderly, efficient way. With self-discipline, you take charge of yourself. And the affirmations, if you want to say them with me: I am self-disciplined, I control my impulses, I act instead of react, and I am in charge of myself. And the daily word today, I think it's really a good one. I've been using it every morning because I saw it a week ago. It's prosperity. With God as my source, I live abundantly. No matter how much I have in the bank, the kind of car I drive, or the house I live in, I know these are mere manifestations of abundance. The source of all prosperity is God. I look beyond appearances to find a deeper meaning of prosperity. Meaningful work that I enjoy doing is part of my prosperity, and only because of what I earn, but also because of the satisfaction I feel when I use my skills. My house becomes a home when filled with people I love and care for. My financial resources don't diminish but multiply when I share them generously. As I look beyond the good things in my life to the love, the creative insight, and the limitless flow of divine ideas that brought them into manifestation, I discover true abundance. Riches and honor are with me, enduring wealth and prosperity. Proverbs 8:18. So those of you in the sanctuary, if you have a prayer you would like to put in the prayer box, now is the time to do that. And for those of you on Zoom, if you would like to unmute and offer a prayer, we're open for that.
Good morning. This is Marty, and I would like to add to our prayers a prayer for peace for our world, please. Thank you.
Can you say that again, Marty?
I would like to add a request for prayer for peace for our world.
World peace.
Okay? Thank you.
I'm going to add a gratitude piece for everyone that supports our church and sustains us. We are very grateful for all of you. Okay? Seems like there's no more, so we'll have Patty bless the prayers.
Well, actually, we'll have all of us bless the prayers today. And it is our custom that when we do our blessings in this congregation, that we rub our hands together, knowing that we raise our energy. Also in mind, we hold the highest and best, especially in regard to the prayer requests. These requests comes from the desires of our heart, and it is our good pleasure as a spiritual community to support each other in our desires. And so we raise our hands and direct that energy to our prayer box now. And I affirm once again that there is one presence and one power, active in the universe, active in our lives, and active in the lives of our loved ones. This same presence and power is active within communities, countries, and leadership throughout the world. It is both personal and immanent. And we align our hearts and souls with this energy, for it is the energy of our very being. And so it is the good pleasure of all of us to hold the highest and best intention, the most fulfilled vision for one another in our lives. And that as we speak our word for peace, as we speak our word for gratitude, as we speak our word for healing and upliftment, we do so in confidence and in absolute faith that as our word goes forward into the infinite, that it is responded to and returns to us fulfilled. There is no situation and circumstance beyond the transformative power of prayer. And so with that in mind, we are filled with gratitude that we step back, withdrawing our own control and wishes, and allowing the divine presence to work perfectly in outcomes that bless all concerned. And so it is. Amen.
So now it's time for handshakes and hugs, and Aaron will play a little soft music while we greet each other. Thank you.
add to Marty's prayer for peace. This is a peace song. I wrote it in English and Mohawk. It honors a man who 1,000 years ago started walking and walked for 30 years from his little Mohawk village. It took him 30 years to create a great nation, the oldest democracy we know of in the world, a 1,000-year-old democracy called the Iroquois Confederacy. He joined tribes all over what is now New York and into Ontario, Pennsylvania, tribes that were known for being the greatest warriors of their time, and they literally buried their weapons under this great tree of peace and became a nation that has been peaceful for the last 1,000 years. So this is called Peacemaker. Away, hey, away, 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 kuya, away, away, ho, away, ho, away, ho, away, 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 kuya, away, away, ho, away, ho, away, ho. I will be the peacemaker, a fire that will burn forever, two rivers running on together, and you will know my name. We will sing the high, high song of peace, and bury our weapons deep in the Onondaga dirt. And this I know, 4 winds will blow, the rivers will flow, and we will lay our weapons down. Away, 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 guya, away, away, ho, away, ho, away, ho, away, 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 guya, away, away, ho, away, ho, away, ho. I will be the eagle high above, watching over the wide roots of love. And to the north, the south, the east, and to the west we send this peace. 5 arrows on the evening breeze, we will fly forever true. And this I know, 4 winds will blow, the rivers will flow, and we will lay our weapons down. Away, 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 guya, away, away, ho, away, ho, away, ho. Away, 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 guya, away, you way ho, you way ho, way ho. Away, 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 guya, away, you way ho, you way ho, way ho. Away, hey, yahoo.
Thank you, Aaron. Well, good morning again. I have this morning, I took my cue in terms of what I was going to talk about this morning from the virtues. And as we saw in the beginning of our service, that the virtue today is self-discipline. And so I thought, well, I'll take that as my talk title. I think it's a very rich subject that we don't touch on very much. Self-discipline has kind of a negative connotation, and I see a few smiles here in consent of that. But I'd like to, the forerunner, I'd like to go back though before I speak about self-discipline. And self-discipline comes out of one of our 12 powers. Inherent within humanity, within all of us, are 12 fundamental spiritual faculties. These are also called divine ideas, and we also label them as the 12 powers. The 12 powers are components, they're attributes of our own divine nature. And they originate, though, with God. That we think of God, we think of the presence and power of the universe as a composite of these 12 powers. And since we are offshoots of the divine, since we are children of God, we are sparks of the divinity, then it follows that we also have these spiritual attributes. The first two principles that of our unity teachings affirms this, that God is absolute good, everywhere present. We know that God to be omnipotent, and that human beings have a spark of divinity. So in that sense, in being created in the image and likeness of God, we too have these incredible powers. The divine ideas are one of the most important things in the universe because they contain all possibilities for divine unfoldment and divine potential in our lives. They are the building blocks, just as DNA is the building block, are the building blocks of our physical lives. The 12 powers, these divine attributes, are the building blocks for our spiritual lives. They are the foundation of our spiritual expansion, our spiritual awareness, and our spiritual growth. By employing these divine ideas in our lives, we can reach our divine potential. And as we come fuller and fuller into the realization of our true nature, we become more fully able to demonstrate our divine possibilities. And so one of those divine possibilities, one of those building blocks, one of those foundational attributes is will. Will. Charles Roth, in his book, More Power to You, writes, "The chief executive, the prime minister of the kingdom of the mind, is the faculty of will. As one of the 12 powers, it is the attribute of determination and going forward. Will directs our energy and sets the course of action. When will is activated, possibilities become realities." When will is activated, possibilities become realities. To will, the act of will, is the energy of will, is to act, is to take up an action. It's an animator. To will is also to assert one's choice. It is the power of choosing one's action. In documents such as a last will and testament, will is the desires of a person and how their worldly goods are to be distributed. So it is a last directive. The will moves us forward along whatever path we choose. In terms of wishes, willing and wishing, later today I'll be taking a trip to the ocean down by Ocean Shores because to carry out the last wishes put down in the will of my mother who died last year. It was her desire, her will, that her ashes be scattered in the ocean. And so it has become almost a sacred trust to myself and my brother and sister that we carry out that wish. That it was given by my mother. She expected it to be done, and we are going to carry it out. Such is the power of one's will. Jesus had something to say about will as well. In the prayer that he gave his apostles, that he gave us, that we call the Our Father or the Lord's Prayer. One of the lines in the Lord's Prayer is, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And so I was kind of excited and pleased to hear that Aaron referred to the Aramaic this morning, because the Aramaic for this line, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, is Tete Melkuta, Nyewe Sivyanak Hekana de Poshmaya of Bara. Sevyanak is the Aramaic word for will, and it carries the meaning of desire, a harmonious cooperation of movement that includes natural discipline and order. This kind of heart's desire means that one's whole being, not just a part of you, not just your mind, not just your intention, but our whole being moves towards the goal that we have set in mind with certainty, with confidence. And the root word in Tsevyanach, in this word, has the image. So Aramaic being of an Eastern philosophy, an Eastern mindset, rather than having literal meanings, have images that kind of describe what these words mean. And Tsevyanach has the image in its root that of stars swirling through the heavens. So get that in your imagination. Stars swirling through the heaven in a vortex of unified energy. Can you imagine that? Yeah, it's pretty cool. I can imagine that, and it draws me in. It's sort of like this energy that attracts. Well, all of us in our lives exercise will. What are some of the ways in which you exercise your will in your life? Yeah. Well, I exercise my will by making decisions going forward. We do that every day by setting a long-term intention, bringing together things in my life that will support that intention, by wanting my way when I want it. That's one of the ways in which will is expressed. It is some of the ways in which we establish our will in the world. Some other ways is through willfulness. Have you ever been in relation or in the proximity of a child who just wanted his or her way and wouldn't have it any other way? That there's this willfulness, this energy, this determination. Pardon me? It doesn't have to be a child. Yeah, to be a child, huh? Or it can be an adult. Well, it can be an adult. That's true. It doesn't have to be a child. It could also be an adult. You may have experienced that of yourself. We express our will through willpower. Will is expressed in terms of future activity, agreements, vows we make in good faith, such as in marriage. We set an intention that we will do certain things, that will behave in certain ways that support one another. Determination is an act of will. Whenever we set a course of action, that is an act of will. The aspect of will that I'm more interested in, though, in this morning, is that of willpower. How many would consider themselves as having a strong sense of willpower? Okay, we have one. Well, we have one that's kind of, sort of. Yeah, could be. Another very definite one from the sound booth. Yeah, willpower. So we all have we all practice, we have willpower, but we practice it along a continuum of effectivity, of effect. Sometimes in some areas I have tremendous willpower, and in other areas I have very little willpower. Those areas of very weak willpower are ruled by chocolate, pie, And the lack of willpower is demonstrated in my life, for me, by a real dislike of exercise. No matter how, yeah, I get some affirmations here in the sanctuary that I set good intentions, but I really have to kick in the willpower in order to fulfill those intentions. So willpower goes by many names. It goes by drive, determination, self-discipline, self-control, and resolve. At its simplest, willpower is the ability to control or to restrain ourselves, and the ability to resist instant gratification for the sake of a long-term goal. According to the American Psychological Association, other definitions of willpower are the ability to delay gratification, resisting short-term temptations in order to meet long-term goals. It's the capacity to override an unwanted thought, feeling, or impulse. The ability to employ a cool thinking system in terms of our response to life rather than a hot emotional system. That willpower is conscious, effortful regulation of the self by the self. And it's a limited resource. Willpower can be depleted. It requires a lot of energy to exercise will, and so that has short-term sustenance. Willpower is the ability to control unnecessary and harmful impulses. It's the ability to overcome procrastination, laziness. It's the ability to arrive at decisions and to follow it with perseverance to a successful accomplishment. It's inner strength that overcomes inner emotional and mental resistance for taking action. So, as you can see, willpower is necessary as a necessary energy, is a necessary gift, power, and within ourselves to go forward and to accomplish and to achieve, to transform. That without willpower, we don't have the motivation to move forward in our lives. People who rely on willpower and self-control to get things done see results, but those results are in the short term. And ultimately, the exertion of willpower is tiring, and it's time limited. An offshoot of willpower is self-control. Self-control. Self-control requires willpower, and it takes a conscious effort to resist the things that we are being tempted by. It takes a conscious, determined effort, sometimes to follow through on our intentions. But beyond willpower, which happens to be the title of my talk today, beyond willpower is discipline. Discipline is one of the most important personality traits that we can have in our life. That it's a way of being honest, it's a way of being hardworking, it's a way of being motivated and encouraged while doing something in our lives. Many of us think of discipline in a negative sense. I think I mentioned that earlier. Discipline implies following the rules, not stepping out of line. It requires a lot of regulation, control, and is usually exerted by authority. And if we fall out of line with the regulations, then there is the threat of punishment. And so discipline in its purest sense doesn't have a very positive feel in our bodies. As a matter of fact, when I said the word discipline, did you notice a reaction in your body? Yeah, what was it? Constriction, right. It was withdraw. Yeah, so that's how it affects us emotionally. That in a physical way, we draw back from it. We think of it as constrictive and as limiting. But in its highest application, discipline is used to create habits and routines that enhance success. And as we experience success, it also increases self-esteem. And it allows us to establish positive action in our lives. It helps us train our minds and our bodies and enables us to focus on our goals and to regulate our emotions. It helps us not only personally but in society by maintaining peace and order as well as well-being in the culture and in our communities. But not only that, but self-discipline or discipline itself promotes those very same attributes within our lives personally, a sense of well-being and a sense of peace. Now, there's a very special kind of discipline that is extremely beneficial for us in practicing our spiritual practice, and that is self-discipline. Self-discipline allows us to stay focused on our goals. It enables us to stay in control of our actions and our reactions. Self-discipline allows us to be the boss in our life. A lot of things that I've experienced in my life as successes required self-discipline. The self-discipline of establishing habits and routines that were beneficial. In my prayer life, establishing a routine of prayer requires self-discipline. That whenever we impose a course of action in our lives, one of the motivators or one of the energies behind us fulfilling that intention is self-discipline. But how do we develop self-discipline? You know, do we just grit our teeth and just say, I'm going to do this? I start out like that a lot of the times. Practice, practice, practice. But when we grit our teeth and decide, I'm going to do this no matter what, that's starting to come up, to edge up onto willpower. And willpower, remember, is an energy that depletes. We get tired, we get sidetracked, and more often than not, with that kind of energy output, our intentions are set aside. We start fudging on them. And so the purpose of self-discipline is to promote a habit or a way of action that can be activated and sustained over long periods of time. So it's actually a change of consciousness. Some of the ways in which we can foster self-discipline is to really be able to know your own strengths and weaknesses. Now, in our metaphysics class I teach, one of the things that are so important for us to establish in our lives is self-knowledge, to be able to know ourselves. As I said, to know what are my strengths and how can I build on them? What are my weaknesses and how can I support them? So we really need to be clear and honest with ourselves in terms of our own abilities and our own weaknesses. We also can establish self-discipline by removing temptation, just removing that which from our lives, which is sidetracking us. Setting clear goals and have a plan to achieve those goals. not just for the day or for 2 days, but again, for the long term. Create new habits and rituals and give yourself a backup plan. Also, taking baby steps is one way of establishing self-discipline rather than taking off a big bite at one time, to enter into our intentions a piece at a time. Self-discipline is the companion to willpower. And unlike willpower, as I said earlier, it can be depleted. Self-discipline infuses us with stamina to persevere in whatever we're doing. Willpower and self-discipline help us to choose our behavior and our reactions instead of being their slaves, that we become the master. We become the master of our own lives. We need both of these energies. We need both willpower and self-discipline in order to rule our thoughts and to be the master of our lives. Because we know in our philosophy that thoughts are things. Where we place our focus and attention determines the outcome. And so to have a disciplined mind, a self-disciplined mind, is a huge attribute to staying focused on that which has meaning for us. When we are masters of our own minds, we enjoy inner peace and happiness. Outer events do not sway us. When we are firm in who we are, when we are confident, when we are strong in our self-discipline, we are not influenced in a way by the outer environment that depletes us, that we are the masters of that realm. Willpower and self-discipline are essential for spiritual growth, for self-growth, for meditation, for prayer, to establish spiritual practices. They are the powers that change our habits, and they are the key to any kind of our success. They help give us more control over our lives on the things that are ours to do. Now, of course, we always have to determine in our lives what is ours to do and what is not ours to do. What can we do and what do we give up to God? What do we release and what do we surrender? Willpower and self-discipline helps us to make those determinations, to develop the inner powers that are essential for our spiritual fulfillment. Two very powerful energies that we all have. Willpower that is supported, that supports, and out of which comes self-discipline. So I'd like to turn now from this part of the service to our meditation. That these ideas are powerful ideas, realizations. Understanding them is a key to how effective we can be in our lives. And so let's bring these thoughts, let's call upon these powers within the context of meditation. So I invite you to close your eyes and to just start taking in some deep breaths. Deep breathing re-energizes every cell in our body. It quickens our mind. It replenishes our energy. As well as it allows a pathway to release what the body no longer needs, getting rid of toxins. It is truly renewing. It's taken for granted that we must breathe to live. But we also must breathe deeply to thrive, to be fully alive. And so we do that now. We breathe. We find our natural rhythm. We release ourselves into that rhythm of breathing in and breathing out. And as we find that rhythm, we also find the edges of peacefulness. Contacting the edges and following those edges to the heart, to the core, we immerse ourselves in the natural inner peace deep within our souls. And we give ourselves time to deepen our awareness of that peace deep within us. And in this place of peace, we call upon our spiritual faculty of will. And beyond will, we call forth the attribute of self-discipline. Of self-regulation. Of self-determination. Straying from self-discipline does not invoke punishment, but what it does do is it interrupts the orderly unfolding of our spiritual processes. When we don't adhere to self-discipline, we are in processes of start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. And so like a fine, well-tuned engine, we call upon self-discipline to support us in our going forward, in our orderly movement towards spiritual fulfillment. And so just for a moment, imagine yourself in a field of light that is silver. This silverish cloud surrounds you. It is precious and a treasure. Just like self-discipline, when correctly used, is precious and a treasure. And if there's any area in your life, any situation or circumstance, any relationship in which you would like to move forward, call upon your inner faculty of will and self-discipline. And in the next few moments of silence, ask it to speak to you, to give you a thought, a direction, an idea that would facilitate you going forward. I give thanks for my sacred faculty of self-discipline. And I allow it to move me forward. I give it a place of honor in the foundation of my desire, that I lean upon it as I take on new directions or continue with old ones that have fallen away. But I do embrace it as a necessary support to the unfolding of my good, my highest, and my most perfect being. And so it is. Amen.
Coming down like the sun into the water now. Oh, I am coming down like a dove into a world of shells. Oh, I am coming down like a dove. Oh, like a dove. Oh, I'm coming down like a dove. Oh, like a dove. Oh, if you catch me, I won't need to fall. Oh, if you catch me, I won't need to fall so far. 'Cause I see you now, holding your pain, drawn in a frown. And I do feel you now, like you're a part of me somehow. And I hear you now, holding your pain without a sound. Oh, well, I would be with you now. We could be smiling into the door. Oh, I'm coming down like a dove. Oh, like a dove. Oh, if you catch me, I won't need to fall. Oh, if you catch me, I won't need to fall so far. 'Cause I learned I can fly. Oh, as I learned I can fall. I learned I can't fly. Oh, as I learned I can't fall. I learned I can fly. Oh, as I learned I can fall. so far, so far, so far. I don't wanna fall so far. Oh, I am coming down like the sun into the water now. Oh, I am coming down like a dove into a world of shells. So I'm coming down like a dove, oh, like a dove. Oh, I'm coming down like a dove, oh, like a dove.
Thank you again, Aaron. We're so blessed to have you here today, to be in the sanctuary. Thank you. Thank you. And now we come to the time in our service when we share our love offerings. As you know, because I've said it very often, that this is a very sacred part of the service for me. It's like when the rubber meets the road. That's how it goes, right? Not when the tire's on the bridge. No, but it's when the rubber meets the road. That it is my opportunity to engage with the energies of abundance, to exercise my faith. And I love it. I love it. And so the offertory blessing should be up on the screen. And if you say it with me, divine love flowing as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And Guy will collect our offerings, and then we'll have a blessing. Okay, and again, with our blessings, we rub our hands together, get that energy up, and extend it towards our offerings. Now, these are gifts that come from our lives. These is a sharing of our resources in support of our spiritual community, and also in affirmation of the principles we live by and the way of life that we construct on a daily basis. That we believe that these principles and this way of being in the world is supportive, is positive, and makes a difference not only in our lives, but the lives of everyone we meet. And so they are much more than dollars and cents. They are symbols. They are symbols of conviction. And we bless these convictions and see these convictions in the form of financial supply going forward to fulfill our own obligations as well as to be shared with the community. And we are grateful. And so it is. Amen. Now, Aaron, do you do the peace song?
Can we do a circle and do the peace song?
Yeah, we can do Yeah, we can do a circle. Okay, we're going to do a circle. Hey, we're on Zoom. We are doing a circle. So.
Held a unity hand in 3 years, I think. Oh, now you have it.
Okay. Well, go ahead. I'm going to put this down. Well, no, I have to leave it on so people can hear. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Aaron, aim it towards Aaron.
Sure. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And so let's all join together with our prayer protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light that is God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love that is God. The power of God protects us. I am the power that is God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence that is God. Where I am, God is, and all is well. Where you are, God is, and all is well. Have a fabulous week. And we are going down to the fellowship hall for hospitality. So all you on Zoom, go to the kitchen and get a cookie and a cup of coffee. All right.
Join us downstairs.
Thank you for joining us today. All right. Bye-bye.